Hey guys, so I'm working on coming up with all sorts of shapes that I might be able to use to create my own shapy character. So like the instructions say, you're going to fill 2 whole pages of your sketchbook up with all different kinds of shapes. You're going to have organic shapes. You're going to have geometric shapes. You can even turn those shapes into forms. So you need to have all different types of 2D shapes, which are organic, meaning they're not geometric, but rather shapes you can find in nature. And then you need shapes that take on forms, meaning they have more than one side to them. Here you go. And then you also need geometric shapes, which are the ones that are man-made, like math-made. Okay, so triangles, squares, rectangles, ovals, and those can all become forms like hexagons, pentagons, octagons. Okay, so I'm just going to keep filling this up. What I like to do as I'm drawing is I kind of let my imagination dictate where the shape is. If I'm going to make it dimensional, I try to find its center line, which would hit the curve here, so I can kind of see how it goes together. This looks like a little hat. I can already imagine maybe a character with this round hat sitting on top of their head. I want to think about shapes that could be possible face shapes. That kind of reminds me of the skeletons in Coco. They had these elongated kind of bone shapes for their faces. Sometimes I like to add in holes or other shapes within the shapes. I want to think about shapes that could be arms or tails, shapes that could become ears or eyes. Chances are you're going to have a lot more organic shapes than you will geometric, but you want to have a good mix of both, and you want to make sure you're thinking about dimension as well, so don't forget those. Some shapes might be kind of wavy, others might be more solid. That could be a neck. It could also be part of a limb. Some shapes are going to be small. Okay. And sometimes you're just doodling shapes, see what comes up. You don't have to think too much about like what part of a character would this be, but rather you're just having fun seeing what comes to mind. Some shapes are going to be more elaborate than others. Sometimes I like to just think about like all the different shapes of noses I can make. Okay, so you can see already I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I have more than 20 on this page already, okay? And you need 20 shapes per page. So your page should be pretty full when you're done. And you'll move on to the next one, okay? One thing I want to think about is like, what kind of shapes don't I have? If I'm missing something, if I don't have a lot of like shapes that could be someone's torso or chest. So I want to keep thinking about what I haven't drawn, what other types of shapes could there be. Okay. And of course you're going to like some shapes more than others, but you never know. A shape that looks really terrible on the page might end up being something you really want to use for the character. And kind of just drew a character's leg. And so you might start to see how shapes relate to each other, but don't try to plan out any characters yet. You're just coming up with different types of shapes. No characters yet. All right, guys, so get your 20 shapes per page done, 40 shapes total, 2 pages in your sketchbooks. Have fun with it. Be creative. Take inspiration from nature. So like I'm doing a little cloud here. Okay. I could do a half moon. You could even draw shapes taken from leaves. Don't forget to do geometric shapes as well. You can look up geometric shapes and three-dimensional forms online if you can't think about what they look like or how to make them dimensional. There's lots of resources, images online to draw from. I'm going to do one more and then I'm going to let you guys get started. Looks like a little umbrella. All right, so I can't wait to see all the shapes you make.